Hey guys, welcome back to New York Comic Con on Newsarama.com. I'm Justin Tyler.
I'm Grace Randolph.
And we're here talking to David Marquez. Hello, sir.
Hello.
If you guys have any questions for David, us, or the world at large, tweet them at us at the hashtag Ramacon, R-A-M-A-C-O-N.
Yep. And you know, you are working on one of the hottest Marvel books right now. You've been going on and off with Sarah Pichelli and Chris Samney. You want to, Ultimate Spider-Man. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I've been drawing Ultimate Spider-Man since issue number 9, and that's been really exciting. Working with Brian Bendis, who's I've been reading his comics since I was since he first started writing Ultimate Spider-Man, even Sam and Twitch before that, some of his indie stuff. So I've admired him as a creator for a long time, and it's really a dream come true to work with him on like his baby project at Marvel, which is Ultimate Spider-Man. And I actually had fallen out of monthlies for a long time, but got back in when Miles Morales took on the mantle with the relaunch.
He's wonderful, you know,
Fantastic.
and there's such a realistic feel to the stories, you know. I think they really capture the Harlem feel really wonderfully. How is it doing something that's such a diverse book?
It's really exciting. I mean, I think all of us are aware that there's a certain lack of diversity in comics, and superhero comics especially.
Yeah.
And especially considering how diverse the readership is,
Yeah.
it's somewhat unfortunate that the comics don't always reflect that. I think it's great to have books like Ultimate Spider-Man where you are having that diversity portrayed, not for diversity's sake, it's not tokenism, but you're telling really exciting stories in a way that I think better reflects the reality we all see as just people in our lives.
And I feel like the book in general, especially the art, has a youth to it. Is that something you sort of have to tailor, or?
I mean, it's a superhero book. It's a fun book. There's a dark side to it, certainly, but it's a story about a 13-year-old, and so you want to make sure that it stays young, stays exciting. And it's important to me that kids look like kids. That anybody reading it doesn't feel as if it's like, you know, the Dawson's Creek phenomenon, 210 phenomenon, where it looks like 24-year-olds, you know, pretending to be whomever. But I mean, yeah, we put a lot of effort into making sure that the art fits the tone of the story.
Well, as every aspiring artist wants to know, how'd you get the gig?
Probably have to ask people who were in the back rooms. As I understand it, they'd been.
What are you talking about?
Inside baseball.
I knew it.
As I understand it, I just finished work on Fantastic Four Season 1 for Marvel, and the talent guy has been passing my work around, and it came across the Ultimate office. And they and Brian Bendis looked at it and liked what they saw. And I was speaking to Brian recently, and he said basically he likes to take chances on young artists, and hopefully in this case it panned out pretty well.
Yeah, clearly it had. Have you always been a Spider-Man fan? Is this like you hit it?
Yeah, I mean it's. I started reading comics really in like the 90s during the boom, and so like, you know, Bagley and Larson on Spider-Man were like, that's what I came up with. And then I've been reading Ultimate Spider-Man since it launched. I love Bagley's stuff all throughout that, and then Stuart Immonen and David De La Fuente and everyone else has been working on that. So I've been a fan for a long time, and it's really exciting to come on a property that I've loved for so long.
Well, with this new darker Spider-Man that's coming, it's going to be even bigger difference between your titles.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I know very, very little about a lot of the Marvel Now books, and so this is the Superior Spider-Man you're referring to?
Yeah. He's like, he's not, and I think he's not Peter Parker, he's not your friend. And also everyone was interested to know who Miles Morales is going to be in the 616 maybe.
Yeah, because at the very end of Spider-Man there was that little thing.
Do you know?
Great.
So I cannot comment.
Oh!
At the end of Spider-Man,
nice.
You're talking about the crossover book.
Yeah.
There was an allusion to who's the Miles. What is Miles Morales like in the regular
Peter
Marvel
Parker
universe?
Googles him. He
Yeah.
Googles Miles
Google.
Morales.
Yeah, and that's terrifying. Any search. Don't Google yourself. Let's talk about your other book, The JOYNERS in 3D.
Correct, yeah.
Because the in 3D is part of the title.
It is part of the title, yeah. So this is my second project with Archaea, or no, third project with Archaea. My first was Syndrome, my first debut book, and I was nominated for Russ Manning for that.
Yeah.
Also did Days Missing there. And the third book, The JOYNERS in 3D, I'm rejoining or getting together again with the writer from Syndrome, R.J. Ryan. And this is a book we've been working on, really on and off since that book wrapped originally, Syndrome. This is almost 3 years ago now. And the reason why we wanted the name 3D in the title is that, well, this is a 3D comic. We're doing it all in 3D. It's black and white, but like that red-blue anaglyph 3D, old school-wise. But it's kind of like, you know, play on words to some degree. The book's in 3D, yeah, the art's in 3D, but also we're trying to tell a really serious, deep, character-based story.
Right.
And so there's a little double entendre over there with the characters themselves are also given a very well-rounded exploration. So the characters are in 3D, the family's in 3D. It's basically a story of a family falling apart, the family of the future falling apart. So it's a dark story, but we wanted the title to reference both the art and also the fact that we're telling a deeper story than just what a lot of 3D comics have been, which is just fists coming out at you.
Yeah. Why is the 3D so important to this story?
I think primarily we just believe that it's something that hasn't been done a whole lot. And when it has been done, it has been done pretty well. We've never seen a really serious, I don't want to get too pretentious with the term, but like a literary take on like trying to tell a really strong, compelling, serious story. Where 3D is a backdrop, but it's not necessarily done just for those cheesy, sell it with the punch through the screen.
Well, Hemingway did a lot of 3D books, if I remember correctly. That's why he killed himself.
How does one draw in 3D? Are you sitting there with the glasses on?
Well, I work digitally anyway for all of my mainstream work. Covers I may do by hand, but working digitally, there's some steps I can use in Photoshop where I'm able to take a single piece of art and then separate it out and do the two sides.
Ah, nice.
Oh, that's cool. So it's like a one-click thing.
No. It's a lot longer than that, but it's easier than having to draw the left image and then draw the right image.
Yeah, that was serious.
That would suck.
That's cool. And so can you tell us more about the family? Like where's sort of the direction of the book? You say of the future, does that mean so sci-fi elements?
Yes, definitely. So it's set 60 years in the future, and we're definitely riffing on the Jetsons pretty strongly on it.
Nice.
And the art style I'm working in is very different than my mainstream work. It's much more graphic, it's much more cartoony. I'm drawing on anime, I'm drawing on Bruce Timm, I'm drawing on Daniel Close a little bit as well in terms of some like the way I'm doing the shading. So the art style is different. As far as the family themselves, they're the Joyners. There's George Joyner. George Jetson.
For those of you who didn't quite pick that up, he very quietly said George Jetson.
So there's George Joyner, Sonia Joyner, and then they have 2 kids, and there's a family surrounding him. He's kind of like George. He's the patriarch of the family. He has changed the world once with this crazy invention that we have flying cars and stuff now. And he's a new invention that comes out, and there's a scandal surrounding some part of the project, which leads ultimately to his downfall. But this is the story of what happens to the family of the future when stuff goes wrong.
Right.
So. We've had a lot of Archaea creators in here today. It's like a great publisher to work for.
Absolutely.
What's the difference between working for them and a big 2 like Marvel?
I think more than anything else, it's that, Marvel, I love working with them, but we're playing with their toys. And I feel very privileged to get to play with Spider-Man, to get to play with all the other characters I've been able to draw. With Archaea, they're really about the creator-owned properties. And more than that, they're also very seriously pursuing how to make the best physical product they possibly can.
Right.
They're definitely branching out and venturing into doing digital comics, like we all are going to need to. But if you look at Archaea comic, they're almost all going to be hardcovers, and they really kind of specialize doing the quality bound hardcover comic, a physical object, an art object you can hold and treasure. And even in the case of working on the Joyners in 3D, we put a lot of work into the packaging itself. We have a designer, John Adams, who is working with us on the cover design, which we're actually premiering here. And we're going to have a little pocket inside that holds the glasses. We have a little cutout which shows a piece of my art in the cover. So with a lot of effort put into the book design is not an afterthought.
Right.
It's an active part of the creative process.
Well, that's one of the nice things, and also Archaea has some great sales at these conventions,
Yes,
right?
they do. Yes, they do. Buy one, get one. Buy 2, get 3.
Yeah, it's really nice. And as you're saying, they're really like ornate books. It's not like you're just getting
keepsake.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there anything special about the glasses themselves?
Well, we're designing these. John Adams is kind of taking the lead for the design of the glasses, but in the book itself, there are some glasses that you use to watch certain kinds of media in the future. Right. And the glasses are going to be designed to ape that. And also, there's 2 pairs, kind of like a his and a hers. And
oh, nice. Read it with a friend.
Yeah, that's right. We can read it together.
And when does that all come out? The cover's debuting here?
The cover's debuting here. I think we teased it earlier in the week, but we have some handouts and stuff to show at the booth here. We're aiming for mid-2013, since this is my weekend project. It's largely based on, how much time can I steal away from working on Miles Morales and Spider-Man. But we're aiming for mid-2013.
And when are you going back on Ultimate Spider-Man?
I just finished 16.1 and 18. I'm off for a few issues. I think in the early 20s, I'm on for a few more issues after Sarah comes back for her Venom arc.
Awesome. New Venom. Awesome. Well, that's great. You got a lot going on. Thank you for sitting down with us for a little bit.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for watching our coverage here at Newsarama.com.
Be sure to send in your questions. You can tweet them to us at Ramacon, RAMACON.